Welcome back to N's NotebookLM. Today, we're diving into a text on strategy that is so profound that, literally 2,400 years after it was written, it's still required reading from military leaders, CEOs, and really anyone looking for a competitive edge. We're exploring Sun Tzu's The Art of War to figure out why its wisdom has lasted for millennia. And okay, let's just jump right into the core idea of the book, because it's completely counterintuitive. The greatest victory, the absolute pinnacle of success, is the one you win without a single battle. You see, Sun Tzu argues that physical conflict is actually a failure of strategy. True mastery, well, that lies in achieving your goals before the fighting even has a chance to start. Now, what's really interesting here is how this whole thing frames success. Take a look at this hierarchy. The best options, they're all about getting ahead of the problem, right? You disrupt their plans, you keep them from teaming up. And the absolute worst policy, the very last resort, is to get into a direct, grinding fight like besieging a city. It's all about outthinking, not outfighting your opponent. So, if winning without a fight is the goal, how in the world do you pull that off? Well, Sun Tzu says it takes two key tools: flawless preparation and our next topic, the art of deception. Let this one sink in for a second. The crucial point here is that victory isn't found on the battlefield, it's secured beforehand. You create the conditions that make your success practically inevitable. The fight itself, that's just the confirmation of a victory you already achieved through better planning. And how do you create those winning conditions? Sun Tzu teaches that to control the situation, you have to control the enemy's perception of it. And to do that, you have to appear to be the exact opposite of what you truly are. And this just illustrates the principle so brilliantly. You want to lure an enemy into a trap, you have to look disorganized even while your forces are perfectly disciplined. You see, by feigning weakness, you encourage arrogance in your opponent. By feigning fear, you draw them in until they've gone too far. It's a masterful game of playing with expectations. But that kind of begs the question, right? How do you know which deception to use or when's the right time to act? Well, this isn't about guesswork. It requires a deep analytical understanding of the entire strategic landscape. It's all about intelligence. This is probably the most famous line from the entire book, and it's really the heart of his whole analytical method. This deep knowledge he's talking about, it's built on what he calls the 5 constant factors. What this really means is that you have to rigorously assess 5 critical areas, and not just for your own side, but for your opponents as well. And these aren't just, abstract concepts. The moral law, that's all about morale and unity. Heaven and earth, that's the environment. The weather, the terrain. The commander, that's the quality of your leadership. And method and discipline, well, that's your organizational strength and logistics. By mastering this analysis, a leader can see the path to victory clear as day. So, Sun Tzu basically synthesizes all of this, the whole philosophy of winning without fighting, the use of deception, the deep analysis, and he boils it down into 5 essential conditions that determine who's going to win. Think of it like a checklist for victory. First up, a winner knows when to fight and, just as importantly, when not to fight. This is all about strategic patience. It's having the discipline to hold back, to not waste your energy on battles you can't win, and to wait for that perfect moment to strike when victory is almost guaranteed. Number 2, the winner is the one who knows how to handle both superior and inferior forces. This is just pure adaptability, right? Strategy isn't one size fits all. A great leader has to be able to pivot, maybe use guerrilla tactics when they're outnumbered, or overwhelming force when they have the advantage. Third, victory belongs to the army that's animated by this same spirit, from top to bottom. This is all about unity of purpose. I mean, think about it. When every single person, from the general down to the frontline soldier, is aligned and motivated by the same goal, that force is incredibly hard to break. Morale isn't just a bonus here, it's a weapon. Fourth on the list, the winner is the one who, being fully prepared, waits to take the enemy unprepared. This is where preparation and opportunity collide. You meticulously lay your plans, you strengthen your position, and then you just patiently wait for that moment your opponent inevitably makes a mistake, and then you exploit it decisively. And finally, number 5, the winner is the one who has capable leaders and isn't interfered with by those in charge. I mean, in modern terms, this is all about trust and autonomy. You put experts in charge and you let them do their jobs. Micromanagement from leaders who are disconnected from what's actually happening on the ground, that's just a recipe for disaster. So what all this really means is that these principles, winning before you fight, using deception, knowing your battlefield, they're timeless. They absolutely apply to any competitive arena, whether we're talking about business, sports, or even just our own personal development. And that's really the final question for us, isn't it? In our world, a world without battlefields of spears and chariots, how can we apply this ancient wisdom? How can we apply it to the challenges, the enemies of progress that we face in our own lives? Whether it's a business competitor, a tough project, or a personal obstacle, the principles, they stay the same. If this topic has captured your interest and you'd like to dive deeper, the book is called The Art of War by Sun Tzu.